Hadn't planned on staying late. The day had already been exhausting, and as the clock struck 6 p.m., I was ready to leave. My desk was clear, my bag packed, and my mind already wandering to the comfort of my bed. Just as I reached for my phone, a message popped up from my boss. "Come to my office, now." A sense of unease settled in my chest, but I had no choice. I knocked lightly before stepping inside. He didn't look up, his eyes fixed on the screen. "The project deadline is tomorrow morning," he said flatly. "I know, but I've done my part. I can finish the rest first thing in the morning. You'll finish it now." His voice left no room for negotiation. I swallowed hard. "Sir, He finally looked at me, his sharp eyes holding mine. "This isn't a discussion." And just like that, I was trapped. The office emptied out one by one. My co-workers gave me sympathetic glances as they left, but no one dared to argue with the boss. Soon, it was just the two of us. The air felt heavier in the silence, the glow of the screens the only light in the darkened space. My fingers moved mechanically over the keyboard, but my mind was restless. Every time I glanced at the time, it felt like it had barely moved. Around midnight, exhaustion settled deep into my bones. I leaned back in my chair, rubbing my temples. "You can take a break," my boss said, his voice unexpectedly softer. I looked at him, surprised. He stood up, stretching slightly, then disappeared into the break room. A moment later, he returned with two steaming cups of coffee. Here, he placed one in front of me. I hesitated but took it, the warmth spreading through my fingers. As I sipped, I felt his eyes on me, watching me over the rim of his cup. "Why are you making me stay?" I asked, my voice quieter than I intended. His gaze didn't waver. "Because I need you here." Something in his tone made my heart stutter. Was it just about work? Or was there something more? By 3 a.m., I was struggling to keep my eyes open. My boss noticed, and after a moment of hesitation, he spoke. "Lie down for a bit," he murmured. I frowned. "Where'd?" He motioned toward the small couch in the corner of his office. I stared at him, unsure. Was this his way of making up for forcing me to stay? I was too tired to argue. I curled up on the couch, the fabric cool against my skin. As my eyelids grew heavier, I heard the sound of typing slow down. A soft sigh. Then, in my half-dreaming state, I felt something warm drape over me. A blanket. I wanted to open my eyes, to ask why he was being kind now. But sleep pulled me under before I could. When I woke, sunlight streamed through the windows. I sat up, blinking the sleep away. The office was quiet, but my boss was still at his desk, his tie loosened, his hair slightly disheveled. He looked up when he saw me staring. "Morning." I swallowed. "Did you sleep?" He smirked slightly. "Didn't have the luxury." Guilt pricked at me. I stood, stretching. "I should finish the report." He shook his head.